Welcome to the Gila wilderness of New Mexico. We're pretty stoked to be here. Good girl, Resume. Good girl. I just met a bunch of new friends and had a really amazing dinner. And instead of writing lately, I've been voice recording. But right now, I thought maybe I would record a video, and I'm going to follow the intuition to do so. Even though what I was going to talk about feels scarier and more personal than most things. So, at dinner tonight, some different things got brought up, and I noticed that a lot of the conversation, and I know it's unconscious, and I say this from the point of having done it a lot myself, but a lot of the conversation revolved around making fun of other people and judging people, and everybody laughing in this kind of surface way in order to fit in with what was being said. And for me, something that I've been exploring a lot lately is questions of gender identity and sexual identity. And I believe that it's really important for everyone to be able to be who they are and love who they love, to be able to worship what they worship, to have the customs and culture that they have, to have the skin color and religion and artistic expression and taste and everything that is truly them, and for all of us to be on this journey towards true authenticity and uniqueness. I believe that that's a big part of the reason that we're here. And in a lot of ways, I'm in this lifetime very privileged. I'm white. I have never been in poverty in my life. I am a woman, and for most of my life, I've considered myself straight as far as sexual orientation. I don't consider myself that anymore. It's an ongoing exploration, and I'm not really so much for labels at all, to be honest. And it can be an ever-evolving label, and right now I relate to the word queer in the largest sense of the word. It's not something that I pretend to know much about. I just wanted to share my story of what happened tonight. There were multiple times during the conversation that it was brought up to make fun of people and put people down for desiring to have a non-binary gender or sexual identity. Specifically, lesbians were very much made fun of. It was called a waste of natural resources, as though women's bodies are natural resources to be used by men. And there were things said like, we'll go back to the good old days. The good old days when what? People weren't queer. You'd be hard pressed if you actually looked into human history, from my understanding, to find that. But that's not really the point. The point is that any time that you make fun of someone, even to yourself, and especially, when it comes right down to it, the things that you most want to make fun of consciously are probably the things that unconsciously you're repressing, if you're curious enough to look deep into it. However, I'm not trying to project on anyone else. It's just that my own dreams and my own exploration has shown me that there's been a lot repressed in me when it comes to gender and sexual identity that I desire to explore and express because it's authentic to me. And so for the first time, sitting in a situation like that where it was just being blatantly put down and made fun of, I actually felt unsafe. My heart was racing. I'm wearing a t-shirt, that's a cutoff t-shirt with armpit hair showing. And I have a sticker on the back of my van that says, "This is what a feminist looks like." And so, and everyone keeps looking to me for me to smile and to laugh and to say something during this conversation. And I just didn't. I didn't say anything. And what I want to say is that every time that we make fun of anyone in a conversation or judge anyone, not only are we judging our deepest selves, which have the potential for every single expression along the entire spectrum of what's possible, but somehow we're hurting every single person who's hearing us do that, because even if they don't relate to those things, say they're not queer, or, as was also being made fun of and put down tonight, they aren't alcoholics or have alcohol problems or have a problem keeping a job or something of the like. If it doesn't directly put down in a conscious way the people who are listening, it touches someone who they know and love. Because we all know people, and if we don't consciously know them, then we unconsciously know them, who are different, who don't go with the status quo, who are queer, who are impoverished, who are gay, whose skin is a different color, who are indigenous, who are essentially the oppressed, who are alcoholics, who are any of these things. And so basically what we're really saying is that we won't accept anyone for who they fully are, and we're encouraging people to keep hiding themselves, or to even hide that they know and love people like that. And I have a lot of compassion because I know that people are just replaying the scripts that they were taught. And it honestly makes my heart hurt, because I also know that people are trying to fit in and say those things to keep themselves safe. And as far as I'm concerned, I've been on a journey towards trying to make the unconscious conscious for several years now, and I still shock myself with how much I refuse to let be conscious, because I'm so scared of not being accepted. So scared of not being accepted. So scared of being made fun of. So scared of being told that I'm a waste of flesh, like was said tonight. What if I had said that I'm a lesbian? Then am I a waste of natural resources? I don't believe that. And I just wanted to share this to remind you that it's okay to be different. And anytime that you want to put people down for who they are or who they choose to express, remember, first of all, that you're putting down some part of yourself and saying that it's unlovable, whether you're conscious of it or not. And if not yourself, then someone you love, or someone that the people that you're with love. It's a process. And for me, the difference that happened tonight was I didn't play along. I found what for me felt like a middle way. I felt all the feelings in my body. I felt my racing heart. I felt myself shaking. I felt my shoulders going up towards my ears. I felt fear and I felt anger. Afterwards, I haven't smoked in a month, and I found myself wanting to smoke tobacco. I don't have any cannabis, so tobacco, just anything, which is, in my understanding of it, a way to express anger that feels like it can't be expressed, because it did make me feel angry, and not just for myself. It was just the first time that I ever consciously related with the fact that that made me feel unsafe. But I guarantee you that every single person at that table, again, whether consciously or unconsciously, because our unconscious knows everything. Nothing is hidden from the unconscious. Nothing is hidden from the deep knowledge of our body. I guarantee that every single person at that table, consciously or unconsciously, knows somebody who's queer. And it's so painful to reinforce this idea that it's wrong to express who we truly are. And the difference for me was that I didn't go along with it to people please. I also didn't say anything because I didn't feel safe to. And I didn't feel that was what was right. But I stayed stony, if you will. And then I also didn't flee. I wanted to flee. And then when the lesbian stuff came up again, when it got brought up again, I wanted to run away. I didn't want them to make fun of something that it might be obvious that I could be. And again, I don't want to put any labels on anything. It's not about that. But right now we do live in a world of labels to help us get by. And when we label anything as wrong, we're saying that there are parts of this earth and of just simply what is that can't be loved and can't be okay. And so I stayed. I didn't run away. I didn't smoke a cigarette. I just am feeling all the feelings and I'm naming it. I'm naming what I felt. Scared and angry. Hurt, left out, put down. Like people that I know and deeply love were put down and shamed. So, for all of us, me included, the next time that we want to put other people down to make ourselves feel better as a way of bonding with others, or judge others to make ourselves feel better, or judge ourselves to make ourselves feel worse, ask yourself, what is this really about? When do I first remember hearing that it wasn't okay to be that? Whether it's messy or lazy or different, weak, queer, feminine, too masculine, too black, too white, too traditional, too radical, too anything. You're not too much. And I just want to say that I'm here, and for me, whatever community I'm a part of is about acceptance, and I'm not going to join in with making fun of or putting people down to try and feel better about myself and to try and feel like I fit in. And it's a struggle, and it's really scary. It's really, really scary. It was very scary to sit there and feel all that tension and energy around me because I was the only one who wouldn't join in. And I'm not saying that to say that I'm better than those people. I have made fun of myself and so many people and not accepted so many things. And now I'm just conscious of it in a way that I want to talk about it and remind ourselves that the way that we draw closer to each other is by showing that everything is okay to talk about and be honest about and be authentic about and bring to the table. Now, that doesn't mean that maybe some things aren't better to work on, like, some kinds of self-destructive things that we do that are actually dangerous to our health and well-being. Maybe those are things that we want to get support in changing those sorts of behaviors or actions. But I'll tell you how we don't change them. By acting like they're not okay. Because then they can't be talked about, and then we can't have support. And I just want to say that whoever you are, however you're different. And I guarantee you're a lot more different than you even know right now. I know I am. The more I allow the things I'm most scared of being, that I most want to judge and make fun of, the more I ask where that judgment and insecurity comes from, the more I see that this is a part of myself that I haven't accepted on some level. And it's not binary, it's not black and white, it's all on a spectrum. I guess I'm just asking whatever it's about, because even spiritual enlightenment, right? Even that, we can judge people and put people down for not understanding how much positive energy matters or things like that. And all it ends up leading to is hiding things and repression. Because it's the same, if we think that you can only have positive thoughts and positive energy, well, let me tell you that this human experience, this earth, this cosmos contains the whole spectrum. And if we pretend that only part of it is okay, then we're missing the whole point, which is to love every emotion and every experience, not only the positive ones. It's to bring love to everything, not to only feel love, but to be loving towards everything. There is no right or wrong answer. There's just acceptance. My values are authenticity and transparency. And the way that we show each other that we can be authentic and transparent is by being kind and open and curious. Ask questions. Find out about lifestyles that you thought were wrong, and people who live those. Things that you were told you weren't allowed to be. Man, there's nothing more healing than talking to someone who is that. Because then you're like, wait a second, that's possible? I was told that I couldn't be that. And that was what it felt like tonight. I knew that. I still felt scared and hurt and shitty as fuck. But I knew everyone was just repeating the things that they had been told weren't okay. And let's get beyond that, you guys. Together, little by little. It's a process. But really, we're all still just little kids. We all want belonging. We all deeply desire belonging. And the most fulfilling kind of belonging comes, as Brene Brown would say, when we can bring our whole selves. And we can't bring our whole selves when there's judgment and making fun of stuff going on. Because unconsciously and subliminally, that's just telling us that the whole spectrum isn't okay. There are certain parts of it that aren't okay. So, this is a pretty vulnerable thing for me to put out there, right? And if anyone wants to judge or make fun of me for it, I guess you know what you'll be reflecting. But hey, I respect you for being in that part of the process too. We've got to go through all of it. And it's also okay to not be conscious of things yet, or maybe ever in this lifetime. I'm just sharing my experience because maybe it'll make you feel a little bit more okay about the times, if there have been any, when you have felt unsafe in a place that you really wanted to belong. I want to show you guys this. Isn't that cool? Someone put that up here. It's a circle of rocks, and then there's so many gorgeous rocks around here. Neat. They're ready to go.